Okay, Conan fans, this is Matt. I'm continuing our little, I don't know, intro adventure thing. Um, from where I left off, I told you guys I was going to kind of establish this place as a base, and then I went back and watched the original. I remembered what I had posted, that I said that I didn't want to make a big base building video game out of this. It's very time consuming. My construction's not going to be all that fancy. There's plenty of people out there that have designed just incredibly beautiful look stuff. At some point, maybe I will build this. Maybe I will record it. I don't know. But I did want to create, at least get this started. And what I'm planning on doing is showing you off what I did. And then we're going to move away from here. And I'm going to explore some other realms. Hopefully not die. I have a couple of the cheats turned on now because it'll make it easier for me to show what I've done. First off, I went back to our overlook location where those big monotreme rhino things were. I gathered all of the, well, I disassembled basically all those different stations and all the rocks. And then I came back here. I gathered a lot of rocks, a lot of wood. I mean, a lot of rocks. You'll see why. And I built our little area out. Basically, all except for one thing is basically just platforms and stairs. I do have one building that I built, but I'll explain what I did with that. I did finish up. I rebuilt the different construction things that I figured I'd need at some point, and I have a little the bedroll. I believe I have that saved. So if on our little jaunt that I'm going to do, if I happen to die, we'll respawn here. But essentially, that's all I put in here as far as stuff goes. Now let's see what I actually did with this site. Remember, this is like a little vista overlook with a big, long kind of cliff here. Excuse me. I really, really like the idea of this. And this lower part was pretty level, as you can see. These are all foundations, either the triangle or the square foundations, and they fit in here really nicely. This part here had a little bit of dirt overpile, so I couldn't really make it flat all the way through. And I was playing around and I came up with this little interesting design. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it. I don't know whether I'm going to fill in these empty triangles with other triangles and just put it as a little uplifted building section. I don't know. And then off the end, I had this idea like it's kind of like a pirate ship kind of walking the plank. If we ever have any bad people, just throw them off the plank and let them plummet to their death. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do with this. I haven't made a whole lot of hard decisions. I was just kind of seeing where I have space to build stuff. Because I did foundations, you notice the foundations do kind of go through the rock, and I'm okay with it here, but I don't like doing it where there's unsupported foundations. But these, it kind of blends into the rock, so I'm okay with it. Essentially, I could have just as easily replaced these with triangle platforms instead of the triangle foundations, but it's fine. This is the base level. And then out here, this was like the last thing I did before I quit my game last night when I was kind of looking at this. I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do here, but I flattened it all out, or I've not flattened it, but I added the foundation pieces to create this nice little entry area. I ran out of stone or something. I didn't fill in this last part because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Because I could do it in squares, or I could continue to do it in the triangles and have it nice and fit right up against it. Basically, what I'm envisioning is this is going to be our entrance, or possibly have one like a gate that crosses over this little gully area. But I'm not sure. I haven't decided. Nothing's set in stone, but this is kind of like the entry area. Here is the hole that goes down into the tunnel that goes through this mountain ridge. I already have an idea for this. I want to put an elevator system. They have two different kinds of elevators in this game. One that goes across, kind of like a trellis type of thing, and then one that's vertical, just like a normal elevator is. It basically has a top and a bottom, and then a chain that lowers the little platform up and down. This would be an ideal location to lower it down into another level. And so I would probably have to do some foundations and stuff like that. I don't know. I could just leave it in its raw state. So this side of the tunnel empties out near the river. I have cloak turned on so none of the animals can see me. Dang it, I haven't talked much today, so my throat's a little hoarse. But this is really the easiest access we have to water is right here. So I kind of like having that. And notice it is kind of tucked in here. It's kind of hidden. So I don't necessarily want to wall this all off. I kind of like the little hidden nature of it with the plants kind of obscuring it. You can't really, it's easy to miss this little crack in the wall. Then it descends, and out this side, hey, guess what? More water. And the ghostly sound that pops in, and I still haven't figured out where the heck it comes from. But again, it comes into a different part of the same river. It bends around. But this is the side that has the alligators on it. The other side has the lizards on it. I found out through my explorations yesterday, we are in a location that is just like footsteps away from several different kind of ecosystems. There's a lot of stuff going on near where we are, and I kind of like that. It's a really interesting place to build a base, I think. So over here in the river area, there's plenty of stone, there's plenty of trees to harvest. There's actually quite a bit of iron on both sides of the banks. There's some coal up there too, little bits of it, not a lot, but it's something. So resource-wise, access to this side is fantastic. And then of course we got this big temple with its corruption, and I don't want to mess around with that. You can already see a little bit of corruption on my health and stamina bars. So access to this side is going to be important. This side doesn't have near as much going on, but there's a lot of trees. But again, there's some iron ore. Without really going a whole long ways, we have a lot of access to stone and iron. That's like the building blocks. As far as I'm concerned, that's your key building blocks. Trees, stone, and iron. Coal is a bonus. So let's go back to our base, back up where we were, through the, what I'm thinking of doing is like a little elevator. Oops, where are we at? Oh, here we are. Yoop. And this big pit here, I just realized there's a chest down here. I didn't even see this before. Take that stuff, thank you very much. So I'm not going to build on this side. This side is, I'm going to basically leave it raw, and there's a couple reasons why. Oh, actually, if I really do want to take off and build this, I probably would build on this side too, as needed. This hillside's kind of a pain because this is just sand. It's not going to be easy to grow on, and look where it dumps us. Look at this biome. Does this look anything like either of those rivers? This is just a dry, duney wasteland with a couple of different things. One, instead of a village, we have these skeletons. These are one of the creepiest little villages in the game. And then wandering out here in the wastes are these skeleton hyenas, these like zombie hyena things. This is really, really nasty. Then there's the sinkhole. More nastiness and another big dungeon. This is actually the exit to that dungeon that is in the wall over there. So this kind of like mini biome is just up the hill from our entrance to our little base. If we go up the other way, there's a little trail here, and it continues on over, and it's basically, whatever it is, it is. But if you go up the hill, we have, I can't remember what this was. It's on the map. This is Scoundrel's Gateway, is up here. We are in basically in Black Hand territory. That is the base for the Black Hand, and it looks like a big giant ship in the stone. That's where they chose to make their base, and it's basically a big unsinkable ship. The former captain of which is up here. This is the Pariah's Retreat or whatever it is. This is the former captain, Jamila the Pirate Queen. Her first mate is down there somewhere, and he's the new captain. But this is all Black Hand territory, and they got little camps dotting all over the place. All of these different camps around here are all a part of them. So that's basically in our backyard. Up here we got these big spider, wasp, nasty creatures. Plenty of those around. Dead wood, if we ever want dry dead wood, there's plenty of it here. But this is completely different than those stream environments that we were in. It's a different kind of desert. It's not just dunes. There's actually some life here. And then, of course, there's all the Black Hand members. And they have little camps dotting the hillside up here. You come over here, still Black Hand. You can see it right there on the thing. Sail Stitch Camp. Apparently I didn't ping these over here. The spotters squat. And then we're back to the river. There's the river valley down below. All of this area, it's all Black Hand. All Black Hand, all Black Hand. Here's back to our river area. Plenty of dungeons. I mean, really, there are so many little dungeons and little places where we could just do a little bit of adventuring. Temple there, there's a little crack in the cave there, and here's our little fort. So that's what's going on this side of our fort. I'll get back to the rest of my fort in a little bit. On this side, we get different stuff. This side we have a bunch of the Darfuri. Actually, these are a little bit of a mixed group, but most of these are Darfuri cannibals, I think, and some other little spots. Here's a little, this is a boss gator, and his little gator pond. It's a little harder to find them in daytime. It's a lot easier to spot all these at night. But you notice this isn't Black Hand territory. We're in a different territory that uses that claw symbol. There's a lot of those in this valley area. I'm not even sure what's out here. This is back to the... Yeah, we're back over into the other side of the mountain now. And I'm going to go explore on foot in some of this, so I'm not going to reveal all of that stuff. But anyway, this is all from the little platform of this base that I kind of envision. So let's explore what I did build. For starters, I wanted to have a stairway up to this little area up here. It was kind of, you can see it. It was basically a fairly flat spot. I realized that out here we're getting awfully close to their camp area, so I decided, I probably don't want to build up over here, but I might want to put a wall or something. Just a simple structure, nothing too major, maybe just a gateway, I don't know. And then I got a little stairway that goes down into this slightly lower area. Who knows, storage, something. There really isn't anything else to connect to over here. So that was basically the farthest over on this side of the base as I want to go. After I built these, and see, I had to build little stone pillars to support the staircases. I was thinking, okay, now I need to build something over here, but I want to put a stone base on this. So I started building the foundations over here, just like I did on this side, and it turned into this nice little space. And I decided I better put walls up and figure out where that's going to pop up. So this is the only actual building that I built, and it's still pretty rough. I'm thinking this is a barn. This is like a work area. I'll put some of those workbenches that are out there. I'll probably just drag them over here. Some of the the little industrial stuff. When I got the walls on here, it was fine. It's kind of neat. I got this little, it's not a semicircle. It's a half of a hexagon. It looks kind of nice. It has a barn look, and I put the roof on. And I was going to put the little flat things across, but then I realized because of where this thing intersects, it's going to mess up where the hole is. Basically, if I find some other technology that maybe has a slightly less pitched rooftop, I'll probably replace it. Because it would be nice to have the support not interfere, or the stairway not interfere with the building structure. And right now it kind of interferes, and I don't really like that, but it's fine. I started off building this part first up here, and then I figured out, okay, how can I build this stairway down to my level? I built it all the way down, and of course it wasn't going to line up with the stuff that I'd already built here. So then I reverse engineered it, and I started from here. Where's this going to work? Stairway up, angle, stairway up, angle, stairway up, angle, and then the double stairway at the top. And it was just slightly off from where I originally started. So basically I just redid all of this flooring up here to make it so it stays in alignment with everything I built down here. On the flip side, I had already built a stairway up to this level. Because remember, this thing had a nice flat area over here. But it turns out this area wasn't... I'm going to do a quick... why isn't her inventory correct? I do not know. She's not able to build anything. What's the deal? I'm not sure. She's stuck on some kind of mode where she can't do anything. Fill back up. For some reason, they're not letting her build or do anything. It disequipped all of her stuff. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. She can't equip anything. Something's not right. But anyway, I'll just move on. This entire thing was nice and level, but it turns out the like sand, dirt stuff was just above where the foundation needed to be. So like right here, this sand is actually coming from the surface below, and this is one of the nice ones. Eventually, the foundation's completely disappeared, and all it is the sand, which really disrupts the building, which means you need to build it up a level. You can't just build them up at weird levels. I could have built it up like half as much and it would have been fine, but then there's no stairway, and every time somebody would walk up here, they'd have to actually physically jump to get to the top of the thing, and it was kind of dumb. So I kind of compromised. I created the upper level and the stairway to it. The normal stairway that goes to where I wanted to be is here. I'm gonna have to get rid of that because that's not supported. I thought I already did this. I'm gonna delete that and replace it with a platform. And then I got this platform that runs over here for whatever reason, and I put little supports underneath it. I like things to look, even if I don't have to, I want to make it look like they're supported, because otherwise it's kind of stupid to have a bunch of stone hanging out over an area without any kind of supports underneath it. That's also why I don't like that foundation where it is. I'm going to definitely switch that to a platform. But then this area is fine. I can build something up here. For this entire area, this would be a nice little, maybe bedrooms, something, for whatever. And then another stepway, a little bridge work over here, and here's the last of the areas that I kind of built up. I kind of have this envisioned like some towers that'll go up, because there isn't anything on these hilltops. And I like the idea of a tower that goes up and that will be able to dump off at a certain level, so you can kind of access this as a kind of a lookout area or whatnot, and then continue to go up. And there's another little platform here. There's a platform, well, that one's probably not usable, but this is definitely a flat platform. And then of course on the very top we have this whole hillside. Now most of this is probably not buildable. We're probably too close to that structure, but it is an area we can reach. I just haven't decided. Like I said, nothing's written in stone. I can change my mind and decide not to do any of that. But I do kind of like this as a base area. It overlooks our entry area. It overlooks the river. It has got kind of nice shape to it. I created this lower level. I can either build that all the way up and fill it in on the top, or I can leave it where it is and turn it into some kind of storage or something. I don't know. But the foundations all go into stone, so it looks well supported. I just kind of like the way it looks. That's basically the whole base area. Then when I came over here, I was like, I got to the edge and I saw these little ledges down here, and I was like, well, let's create another stairway that comes down, just like the one we did over there, that goes up. Boom, boom. Needs a support, so I decided, okay, instead of building some kind of a screwy support, I just build the wall up, and now it rests on the wall. Not much here. This would be a little more than a guard tower or something. I don't know. And then I put the stairway down thinking, I don't know. I could come down to this level, but there's not much here. There's not much here. It's kind of defensive more than anything. If I wanted somebody to throw rocks down on people below, I really don't have a plan on making this go all the way to the bottom. If I'm going to do that elevator idea, I'm going to do the elevator from the hole, not from the outside of the building. But you can see there's nice little ledges, and I could build off of those or whatever. So I don't know whether I'm going to do anything with this stairway. I might delete it, might leave it and build down onto that thing. I don't know. Just kind of stuff going through my head. Um, I guess that's that. Go back into my manual here. I turn my cloak off. Something is still not right though. She's not. I'm gonna probably have to go back out to the main window because this is kind of screwy. Um, I don't want to quit completely, but I might have to. I'm gonna put this on pause and figure out what the heck is wrong with the. There's definitely something screwed up here. So bear with me. Let's see. Okay. Luckily, all I had to do was go out to the main window and come back, and it was fine now. There we go. So I wanted to show kind of, see, the dirt was just a little bit too high for the foundation to work. So I just kind of said, well, screw it. I'm gonna have to fill it in, because otherwise it would have looked really weird as having all that dirt on the floor. And as you can see, this one it completely covers it, and eventually the floor just kind of completely would disappear if I used it as the floor. So anyway, that's what I did with that. And while I'm here, I want to get rid of that. And I thought I did this yesterday. There, because that looks much better supported. I kind of like this because this little stairway comes over here and you can just come into the work area, or you can go upstairs, and I'll probably cover all of this up, or you can go upstairs to the basically everything down there is going to be work. That's going to be the workstations. All the different construction stuff is going to be down there. Up here is kind of more be living space, the treasury, whatever. Just nice windows and thing. I mean, God, this is. I could never live in this place. My fear of heights would never allow that to happen. And this will look very different once there's walls up, covering things up, and it'll feel a lot more enclosed and a little more of a enclosure. Little windows of things sticking out, little chairs and bookshelves and stuff, and some kind of probably. What I'm thinking up here is to have a big hexagonal tower of some kind, something round with little outlet areas that have kind of extra space, but essentially vertically is going to be a very hexagonal shaped base. I got to re-equip everything. For some strange reason, everything got de-equipped. It wasn't like that when I was done yesterday. That always goes there because I like to pull down for that. Let's see, I want that to be there. And I want my harvest to be there. And that leaves me with my axe, which I guess will have to go over there. So my weapons are left and right. 4 tools. I usually don't even have the little building hammer active. I usually use that slot for something, whatever else I want to do, because the only time I need that active is when I'm in my home base. We are still pretty close to overloaded encumbrance, so I'm probably going to dump a few more things before going out, because I picked up so many things out of treasure chests that now I got all sorts of garbage backed up. Right. Oh, let's see. Where did I put all my wood? There's some in here. Okay. Oh wait, I didn't need to do that. I got plenty of wood. Doop, doop, doop. I need twine. Yep, I need twine. Just borrow that. So absolutely nothing that's here is set in stone. Essentially, I don't really want to have to change any of my foundations. This came out kind of wonky, but when I put walls up, people aren't even going to notice it. This is going to be a walled-in area here, and this is going to be a little hexagonal wall-in area here. That's about the only spot where the things didn't line up very well. Originally, I had this completely different. This was all squares. and it wrapped around. But then when I came over here, this part was all part of this triangle pattern here, and it ended up being just a little bit off. So I deleted all of the foundation work that I put in over there and replaced it with the triangular stuff and kind of replaced it all the way up to the edge. Because you can have a nice straight walkway in squares, and then the rest of it basically becomes triangles. This little area here, this is basically what it looked like up above, except it was worse. This tiny little spot isn't that big a deal. What I'll end up doing is putting a stairway or some kind of a thing there that covers it up, so it's not quite so obvious. Because I'll probably put some buildings here too. Just because that thing's built up over there doesn't necessarily mean I'm not going to do the same kind of thing over here. Anyway, let's get back to what I was going to do. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to build a bed. I'm going to build a couple more, maybe 3 more wooden cases. And then I'm going to build a bed. I'm just going to put it here, just so it's out of the way. And I'm going to return that to my inventory. So if I find another place out there that's interesting and I'm afraid I'm going to die maybe, I'll lay that down instead and leave the bed here. So this is our spawn point. I'm going to dump just some excess stuff out of my inventory because we don't need all of this. I don't need any bone. If we need stone, I can get stone. There's our bedroll. Let's see, glass, brimstone. I'll carry the desert berries because right now they're food. I'm not using hops. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay, and a couple other premium stuff that none of this stuff weighs much, but might as well just get rid of it. Get it out of my inventory. And then I'm going to put the rest of that twine back over here. I don't necessarily have to get rid of all of it, but I'm going to get rid of some of it for sure. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there and that in there. Okay, we're set on weapons and stuff. I need a little bit of iron. Maybe a little more than that. Just in case I need to repair some stuff. I'm just going to dump the rest of this spoiled food in here because why not? So I'm going to have to build some of this up a little bit yet, some more foundations in here to kind of get this flush with the stone. But I may not, because I could just as easily make this the wall. I can make the walls right up against it, sort of. I don't mind if there's a little bit of stone coming through. It makes it kind of feel natural, but... Okay, so I have all the cheats turned off. I'm no longer cloaked. We are now back to being vulnerable. So, where are we aiming at right here? So look at, see, there's the scar. The little scars are one camp, and then the hands are this is the black hand area, including their capital. And other things are points of interest, because the Pariah's Overwatch is technically not a member of the Black Hands, even though she founded them. They have a big area. Then we got a couple. You got the arena and the sinkhole, which are part of the same dungeon. Another, let's see, Mitra's Serenity. That's that little temple thing that I kind of flew by a little bit. Thugra's Stand is another point of interest. I kind of want to go this direction. I want to go north, kind of northwest. I want to get off this rocky highland at some point. Let's see. Can't really get down there on that side. I want to avoid the campsites as much as I can, because I don't really feel like getting into too much conflict. Oh, right here. That's what I was looking for. There's got to be some kind of a slope down. I love resource-wise. I've had a couple of interesting bases in some of my other playthroughs, but I don't know if any of them have been this resource-rich. Now, there's a lot of little critters I gotta deal with, but you know, it's not too bad. This is going to take us back around. I don't want to go that direction. I want to go up on this side of the river if I can. Oh yes, there's easier ways for me to just showcase stuff. I could just use the cheats and fly anywhere over the map, but I'm trying to show you a more realistic way of playing this game without completely ruining it. I'm telling you, the temptation to just constantly cheat is always there, so maybe that's the reason why people use the player versus player servers and stuff to keep themselves honest. I don't necessarily want to be on top of a mountain, but where I want to go is in that general direction, so... Oh, she's not going to make this one. Oh, good. Rest up. There we go. Oh, there was a path up. I just had to go around that little area. Okay. Don't want to walk into some kind of a nasty animal trap. Okay, check my location again. Yeah, we do want to go out over here. Oh, that's nice. I love these little caves. I love finding those little cave systems. You know, since I'm here, I'm just going to get a little bit of rock in case I need to make a fast structure build. I want to have at least some resources with me. Going into the desert means I'm not going to have a lot of trees, so I should probably get some wood as well. I don't need a lot of this, just some of it. Get some coal on here. Don't need it, but I'm going to get it. So when I do get back to camp, I'll have some more stuff to process. Basically, I want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's kind of like, oh, I don't want to go down to Gator Land. Kind of 5 regions I kind of want to go to show you what's there, like what's in the game, because there's some neat stuff. Music changed. I'm getting out of here. I'll go back to his whatever. Okay, so there's like 6 different little environments or different regions I kind of want to get to in today's recording. We're heading to the first one right now. And that'll lead me to the second. I don't think I'm going to go too far north because it gets to be very, very dangerous. And I'm not feeling that much of a risk taker right now. That frickin' gator is still following me, people. I'm sorry, but gators are not that aggressive. Once they get past the water, they pretty much turn around and go back to the water. Cannot believe that thing is still following me. Some dry wood. Jesus. Okay, I think he finally turned around. Yeah, if I use this, I get the cochineal, the little beetle that's used in, I think, one of the pigments needs it. And if I use, whoops, not the pickaxe. If I use the axe, it treats it like a tree. Because it'll get me some wood. And if I use a pickaxe on the cactus, more cochineals. Thought there might be some fruit or something, but maybe it's a rarer one. I do not want to get caught by surprise by any critters. Okay, so we are right on the edge of this big yellow area. Hopefully you can tell the difference between that and the brighter tanner color here. This is the savanna region. This is where you get elephants. It's the only place on the map, I think, that has elephants. It also has some rhinos, some regular rhinos. It has a bunch of regular antelope. They're over there. It has a bunch of, for some strange reason, it's got predatory tigers running around. Tigers are not native to this terrain, so I'm curious why they're there. Elephants are just like the rhinos. They're kind of ornery. Yeah, they might be plant eaters, but they don't like to be messed with, and you want to keep your distance from them. You don't want to antagonize them. They have a high hit points. They do a lot of damage. Music is so intense, it's got me paranoid. So that area drifts in over here. Yeah, that ornery elephant killed those antelope. If he goes away, I can go skin him. I really don't want to fight this. There is a big boss elephant over there. I think that's the big boss elephant, which has a lot more hit points. Missed. Tiger. I want the tiger. Another tiger. Okay, I'm gonna leave them alone. Those are regular elephants. The big boss elephant's over there by that tree, I think. Well, one of them is anyway. But notice they have 4 tusks. These are primitive elephants. Crossing this valley is a little bit more perilous than I thought it was. Squish the tigers. Yeah, again, I'm not exactly sure why they put tigers in this biome, because tigers are forest creatures, not savanna creatures, but whatever. So this place, I think this is a ruin of something that predates my gameplay of this game. I think there used to be some kind of a structure here, and it was, you know, like a regular dungeon style structure of some kind, a camp and whatever, and in one of the early modes of the game, and I think it was destroyed. And now there's this stuff where they're like rebuilding it up. I don't know exactly. You'd have to read about it online. I know that they didn't leave, the devs so far haven't left any clues as what's going on here, but it's obviously somebody is building here, but there's no people here. There's there's the construction stuff, but no, no people. But they're like building it up for something. There's a ruin over there. Where was I trying to get to? There's a... Not here. Must be a different vista someplace in this place. I just need to find it. Yeah. Elephants and tigers, tigers and elephants. There he is. So we got these big guys here, the old whatever they're called, the Lemurians. Hey! Like I said, I'm not trying to fight you guys. I'm trying to just walk across the plains. Leave me alone. So up here, there's a little pool over here, which is kind of cool. And it goes back behind. And there's a big white tiger up here who's a boss tiger. Regular tigers. Beautiful. I mean, I would love to build here just because it's so beautiful. There's a rhino. There's a little rhino over there by that little pool. Another one there. See? So look at that. Look at that place up there. Does that look familiar to any of you old school animated Disney people?
Oh.
I've found tigers and leopards and panthers. And I said, why are there all these tigers out here? Where is the lions? So this place should have all lions up here. You come up here to Swagger Rock, and look what's on top of this little vista. To my knowledge, this is the only lion I've been able to find, and I know why he's here. But I'm going to leave him alone. I'm not antagonizing a lion. So this is the little savannah area. This was the first area I wanted to venture to after leaving our campsite. It's cool because it's not too far away. Building a base here, building your like house here would be kind of interesting. You definitely have to be kind of elevated and fortified. This place is just littered with rhinos and elephants and tigers. It's pretty treacherous. There's a tiger up on that one. I like areas with a little less volatility in terms of the surrounding fauna. There's two things I don't want to build right next to. One are human camps. I don't want to have a bunch of humans interfering with me and what I do, and I don't want to have a bunch of hostile animals in my backyard. A little tunnel that goes under this big rock. That's kind of cool. So there's a big camp here. Necessarily want to go right through their camp. I also don't really want to skirt along the edges of this thing, but if I must, I must. I want to get on the other side of this, though. God dang, we need a lot of water. I should have filled that up when I was... Oh shoot, I gotta get the water. tiger. I don't want to deal with the tigers either. Okay, avoided the humans. Avoided the tigers. Avoided... Can't see, can't see, can't see! Oh good, I was looking for water. I wanted to make sure I had water access. Gotta fill up these canteens. Okay, full water, not quite. Need some more food. Burnt through that in a hurry. I don't even know what's down here. It's not quite deep enough to swim in. It's nice though, isn't this pretty? So we have the old aqueduct system as it goes north. See, building down here would be kind of interesting too. It's right along the great mountain divide between the desert south and the more cooler, temperate north. I don't know if I can build in here or not. It'll be kind of interesting though. So we are now in the north. We're north of this big ridge line here. So the temperatures are going to start going down a little bit compared to where it was. We're not going to have as many hot spots. Of course, we're going to have new fauna and new flora. Aura's Glory flower. Don't know what it does, but I'm going to gather it while I'm here. First chance I get to find a nice little campsite, I'll probably put up my little bed. As long as that pig stays where he is, he doesn't even know I'm here. Something saw me. They're nasty, man. They have a lot more hit points than those big cats. Okay, well, we got some new animals to harvest. Kuna Matata. Okay, and we got ourselves a wolf. Yeah, see if I can get some bones. Okay, let's not run into too many of those while we're here. And a bear. I have tangled with a bear, but it was a big bear, and it was way beyond my ability. I haven't fought a regular bear yet. And there's a big elk up there, too. Different environment. Now, as you can tell, this is a lot more fertile, a lot of grassy land. The rocks look different, but they're just rocks. Water's different, but it's still the same water. Although it does get cooler. As we get farther north, the terrain will turn from this into pure white snow. Then it gets really cold. Then you need to start worrying about wearing clothing that protects you more against the cold. They say structure-wise, choosing to use wood instead of stone. You use stone in the hot environments to keep you cool. But in order for you to keep warm in the colder environments, you should be using wooden buildings. Right now I can't even build with wood. All I can build is sandstone. That's all I've learned. This is just the regular stone, but it does have some ironstone in there too. There we go, ironstone. It's a little brighter than it is. It's not quite the silvery color, but stone and ironstone, some kind of blend. I'm not going to gather too much because I don't want to get overloaded. Let's see what my temperature gauge does. I never explained those before, but if you notice underneath the health, okay. Let's see, I can't pause the game here and I lose it. So at the very top left corner, there's 3 bars. The top bar is your experience bar. As that gets over to the right, eventually you'll be able to level up. The red bar is your health, and the yellow-orange colored bar is your stamina. And if I was to do something like run, it's going to burn it down. If I do a lot of combat, it'll burn it. See? Then there's those 4 circles. The first one is your thirst. The second one is your hunger. The third one is your encumbrance level, which again is getting pretty close to the top again. And the fourth one is your temperature gauge. Depending on your environment, you will be any level of either cooling, warm, hot, boiling, is just super hot. When you get to the very cold and the very hot extremes, you'll start taking damage, and it goes down in a hurry. By swimming, I'm cooling down, but I'm not freezing. It kind of gets to that level and it just sits there. In this environment, it's not too bad. And when you're in the desert environment and you get too hot, you jump in the water. It'll help cool you down. So it's just about managing your temperatures. Now we're getting closer to population, and I'm pretty sure none of the people here are going to be friendly. They never are. I don't know why everybody has to be so dang hostile. They obviously get along with each other. Why can't they get along with me? I'm just a traveler like they are. I'm not coming here to raid their crops and loot their farm. It's a wolf. See? You can't even get close. And they get all pissy about it. So we got wolves there, and we got people over here. The people and the wolves interact with each other. Horses, that's a little horse, that's a baby horse. You can go pick one of those up and raise it and have a steed. Just kind of exploring. I don't get a chance to just wander around up here very often. I'm usually flying through it. It's a really nice zone though. It is a little harder than our desert zone. Our enemies are going to be a little higher level from what I read. Plenty of stone. Not as many trees as you'd think. Well, there's plenty of forests. You just got to find them. There are some pretty dense forests in this realm. They have some nice graphic effects. I hear a bear. Yeah, they got these little cubbyhole things that they use as caves, and I love that. Sometimes you'll find wolves in them. In this case, a bear. Sometimes they're empty. Oh, bear, it's just so damn aggressive. rug. Okay. Didn't get ahead, but I got plenty of pelts. Lots of stone, lots of ironstone. Okay, they don't want me to surrender. I just thought, what the heck? Try it, see what happens. Yeah, I didn't think you guys were that crazy.
To know the past, child, is to avoid the same mistakes in the future. When we fled from our sinking islands, we made landfall on the eastern coast of this continent. There were people there with whom we had traded from time to time. As we made landfall on their coastline, they took it as an act of aggression. Half drowned, numbed by the loss of our homes, the wicked Kari took full advantage of our plight. We were rounded up, chained, and put to work. That was the first time that our people became slaves.
Those little stones have all sorts of story things tied into them if you can find them all. At some point I'm gonna try to be a little more of a completionist. I'm not gonna spend my energy trying to find each one of them on my own. I will cheat. I will go online and get a map together, and I'll visit them. I want to actually encounter each one of them. I don't want to just read what they're going to tell me. I want to encounter them, but and there's a lot of stuff like that in this game. I mentioned before about the like little messages that are left behind by different exiles like yourself. There's all sorts of cool little stories. It's just you got to find them, and I just don't know if I have the hundreds and hundreds of hours in me to track them all down on my own without using some kind of a guide. So I'll probably go online, get some lists together and maps, and figure out where the heck all these places are, and then go visit them. So this is the big camp in the like Nordheim area here, and yeah, they're not going to be friendly either, are they? I don't know why they feel so threatened by every person that comes along, but New Asgarth. Yeah, they're not friendly. They do not want you to visit their towns. So I'm just gonna run through. Hey! That is a fairly unhairy woolly mammoth, but that's what it is. He's not that hairy, but I guess he is. I haven't faced off against them. They got ginormous tusks. Coal. God, they did a great job with the animals in this game. I mean, they really did try to go for some authenticity with the size and the look, and I said that before in the other video that I think it's kind of a cop-out when a game throws in just a bunch of generic animals for you to face instead of, you know, why face off against a lion or a tiger if you could have a hydra or a griffin or a chimera or something, you know, fantastical, something from mythology or some kind of a monster. These guys, instead of just throwing regular animals out, even those big cats have like saber teeth. These are, you know, Ice Age creatures. These are... You're never going to see all of these kinds of animals brought to life in a video game, except for here. I think they did a fantastic job of that. they're regular animals. They're not blowing fire. They're not, you know, with the exception of a few lizards spitting some poison. For the most part, everything's just kind of mundane creatures. But they're not just mundane creatures. They're really, you know, something out of ancient history. Not even ancient history. They're from prehistory. They're prehistoric creatures. I think that's fantastic. Okay, here you can get a nice little overview of some of the colder climes. I wasn't planning on going into the snow climb, but I can give you a little view of it. That there's water, and that there is ice. And I don't think that camp's going to be friendly either, so I'm not going to venture near them. But I do want to go out in the water. You notice my little temperature gauge. It's declining right now. We're in a colder area than we just were in. The temperature's getting colder. Colder. Now I'm cold. Now I'm cooling down even more. Now I'm very cold. Extremely cold. And now you're going to start seeing the little blue on the edge of the map. On the edge of the... Oh crap, I'm doing... Oh shoot. I didn't realize I was taking damage there until it was too late. That's okay, this is as far north as I wanted to go. So, except I forgot, yes, I have to go reclaim my stuff. Oh, nuts. Oh, no, I forgot about that. Oh, that decision to do that was so dumb. You know what? I am not going to do that. I am not going to crawl all the way up there in my underwear or throw together a bunch of stuff. I'm trying to keep my cheating down to a bare minimum in this playthrough. And yeah, I'm going to have to do a little cheat here because this is too much. There really isn't much here I can utilize. I'm not going to build myself a bunch of clothing that I'm not going to wear. Oh, I can't believe I did that. I wanted to show that there's, you know, you're going to take some damage, and then I was going to get back over to the shore and warm back up. It was only then that I realized for some reason I sank. That I wasn't expecting. I was in the middle of swimming. I was trying to climb up on the ice, and then all of a sudden I plummeted down to the bottom. I was like, what the heck's going on? And then they started taking my life away. I was like, oh crap. Oh, nuts. Alright, so I'm going to have to do a cheat here, because I am not going to walk all that way to get that stuff. I know this is a cheat, but... I just... And because I know that I'm going to end up getting killed, I'm going to switch that on to... Well, I can switch it to just regular God mode. Stupid. So stupid. But at least this will be quick. And I'm going to be able to continue right from where we left off, and then I'm going to go ahead and turn the cheat stuff off. But ordinarily, yeah, you'd have to walk to your packs. I should have just left that all turned off originally. I never should have messed with that. I should have just played on the easy mode, the little, where if you die, you just go back. I would have been fine with that. I would have just ventured out from where I was. Yeah, I wasn't planning on going into... That was not one of the areas I was going to explore for you guys. It just happened to be... I was like, oh, well, I can go out here. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. There. I wanted to get up here to show you... you can mine this for ice. And you can take that ice and put it in your like inventory or your like boxes and stuff like that where you have food, and it'll slow down the rate at which it goes bad, which is something I thought was pretty smart to do. Anyway, let's get back over to the shore. But you see, this is serious cold here. I got frostbite. Oops, wrong button. It's not really heating me up any, is it? It's cooking the food, but it's not creating a lot of heat. No, it is. It's going up. Okay, let's quick go into here. I'm going to turn off the God mode. And we should be good. That was a little risky. So anyway, there's a big band of this snow area where you're going to have to deal with cold and deal with that kind of stuff. And as you continue to go north, you get into the volcanic area, which the temperature completely reverses to the ultra high heat level. And there's all sorts of nasty stuff up there, and I haven't explored it. I've been there a couple of times flying through just seeing what was up there, but I haven't really done a whole lot up there. I know that you can get obsidian in the area up there, and that makes some pretty powerful weapons and tools. But outside of that, I haven't really been up there. I haven't spent that much time in this area either, to be honest with you. Okay, we got some fresh food now. Put that back in my inventory. And before I get any farther, I want to put... looks like I have some of this. I want the instant healing of that. I am not planning... Well, I'll leave the sword. I'll leave the sword alone. At some point, I'm going to probably have to repair some of my armor. Okay, so I want to get back up on this, get back out of here and back into the northlands that we were in, and not this extreme north frozen lands, because I do not want to deal with this cold. Okay, good. Got through that. So we've been to the, oh wow. Oh, that's yeah, that's New Asgarth. That's New Asgarth down there. Now, if everybody in this town wouldn't attack me on sight, I could go get a dance emote, I think. Hi, just me. Just visiting. Just visiting. I really love that. I've played a lot of open world games. I've played a lot of different stealth-based kind of first-person shooter games and all that kind of stuff. The fact that you can literally climb almost anything in this game, you know, it depletes your stamina, so you have to do it with some sense of, can you make it to the next ledge or whatever. But the fact that you can fall down onto flat surfaces like that and just kind of cling onto the side and get to... Is it the most realistic thing in the world? No. But as a video game, oh my god, talk about quality of life. I just love it. I think that if I could have that in all these other, games of this nature, that would be just so cool. Basically, it would give you complete um, lack of fear of falling from heights, just to be able to glide down on it. So we visited the savannah. That was the first thing I wanted to show everybody. Came up north. This is the second area I wanted to show. I wasn't intending to go to the snow line, so that turned into a bonus third area. I want to be very careful here because there's a big nasty. That's not the big nasty I was afraid of, but it's there. Oh my god, my feet are sore. These rock creatures are not that hard to kill, but they're annoying. I do kind of wish that I wish the creatures would be just a little more less territorial and they just kind of wander off. If it's obvious I'm not fighting them, I wish they'd just go back to their business. And secondly, I wish the humans in the game weren't all 100% hostile. It's like, God, I wish there was a few more friendly fucking faces every once in a while, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm used to games where you can go into at least any kind of village and, like deal with merchants and stuff like that, and this game just does not have that. The few places where they do have merchants, they like sell one item. It's like, that's not a merchant. That's just an item giver. Trade something for this one item. That's it. Some coal. Where am I? Okay, Skyhome Ruins. So anyway, this kind of, if you notice over here, this was the green terrain, all of the kind of like lush green. As we get up over here, it turns into more, almost more autumnal feeling. It's a little cooler. And there's some marshy and swamp areas as well in this area. And eventually, of course, it ventures up into the snow area, which I'm not going to revisit now. And then, of course, there's this island of volcanoes. I do want to keep going a little bit longer in this direction. Keep my eyes open for interesting points of interest, POI. Unfortunately, everything that's human resided is hostile. Every time I try to get close to one of these places, I get attacked by everybody. So there's a series of towers up there. There's people up there. Well, can't go there. I can mine all this. Not really interested. Just in case something jumps out at us. Some destruction. Yeah, I'm still going in this. See those? I wouldn't even say that's snowflakes. It's almost more of a, I don't know what that is. It's not lightning bugs. It's not, maybe it's little puffs or something. Maybe it's like early spring. It's not really spring-like to have that kind of guesstimates in there. The ward towers. Well, we're under one of the ward towers. But it's a little more boggy. It's either like earlier in the spring or late in the fall. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. There's some greenery, which makes me almost think it's fall. But it's definitely not quite as warm and as nice as it was in the area that we came over from the deserts. Because that was definitely some more spring or summer feel to it. Look at all the boars. I think this would be a fun game. I've always thought about this with some of the Fallout games, just going on like a hunt, try to hunt all the different animals that are in the game. This game has so many really cool animals that you could just do a hunting aspect of this game, just like a trophy hunter, but have a checklist of every different kind of animal that is in this game, and then check them off as you manage to add them to your list of what you've killed. It's definitely a possibility of something you can do. Okay, so now we're heading back towards the red area. So this is good. This is kind of where I wanted to be. Um, I want to visit this area, and of course this area, and then I want to come back into the red area as the remaining kind of regions I wanted to visit on this little exploratory thing. So you're not, you know, I don't know if anybody's watching this or not. I'm not even sure I'm going to post these videos. I'm just doing it for my own entertainment right now. A little squeeze, a little desert there, but yeah, we're not going back into that. Again, lots of forests. There's a ring of swords up there, which is kind of cool. A little landmark. There's a lot of marshy ruins and old barrens that are in that region. We're crossing back over. Oh, a bear. Great. Like I said, I just want to keep my distance. I don't want to antagonize anything. And there's a baby bear. Two baby bears. Two big bears. What do you do? Oh, three baby bears. Yeah, you don't want to hang around baby bears when you got a big mama bear nearby. They tend to get real ornery. I just want to avoid them. I didn't even want to come down here, but it's kind of in the path. I'm trying to head south, but these rivers end. I'm not going to tell you what I thought that looked like on the map when we were overlooking it. I'm sure you were thinking the exact same thing. I want to get through these, through this area without coming across anything nasty that I cannot fight off. I see lots of sand, I start thinking scorpions. Steep. Man. Iron down there. Lake Watch. Is there any campsite or anything up here? Just curious. Doesn't look like it. Okay, go back down. I tell you, if you're somebody that loves to explore stuff, this game is filled with explorable areas. I mean, do you want to know how many chests I've found on tops and crevices and things on these? It's ridiculous. But trying to do it from the ground, trying to do this without cheating, without flying all over the map, deciding which things to climb, and you climb all the way up there and then you don't find anything, and then you feel disappointed. There's lots of just everything is just tucked in. I loved it. The level design on this thing is really fantastic. They did a great job. The different biomes that are in the game really feel very different. They populate them with the right kinds of mix of flora and fauna. I'm just peeking around, trying to see if there's anything interesting here. A couple of real rhinos. Just looking for chests, looking for stuff that might be here, because you never know. I gotta pop up, I gotta close. Okay, so do I want to go through the rhinos or do I want to go back and go around? I'm actually going to go around. I saw where I wanted to go. I wanted to go to the little salt flats, and this area kind of goes around, and I want to go into them. Oh. Gotta keep my eye on the food and water situation. Oh, there's another rhino here. Choose one side or another so I can go around you. So this big area is completely toxic. How close can I get before I start getting poisoned? Noxious gas. And you tell me, are these people who are locked in that position, or is this wood that's just grown very weird? It's just wood, right? Doesn't look like wood. Looks like some creepy statues. But it's a different biome, different environment. There is a certain, I don't know, a mask or something you can wear, something that protects you from the noxious fumes, and then you can go out there. So maybe there is something in there to look for. I have no idea. There's another one of those things that I gotta get attuned to. It's you see that purple cloud of gas over there? That's corruption. But the pillar that's there, the big pillar, they're scattered all over the map. That you need to attune your bracelet. Remember the bracelet that prevents you from being able to leave? If you go over and touch this stone, it'll say you've been attuned to that stone or whatever. I don't know how many of these stones there are. I don't know what the attuning does. It's part of the problem with this being a really kind of a true sandbox game that has story elements in it, is that you don't really know what you're doing half the time because they don't really have a campaign for you to work your way through. Ah, the Ophirian Journal. I remember this one. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother reading it because it's out of order. This is number 8, and oh, this is where he buried the guy. Sanus from Ophir, coward, a joker, and a man with a very strange obsession for sheep. Saved my life. I could not save his. Bragya of Samaria. So this is the 8th journal. This is the last one in a series of 8. I know where the first 3 are. I've read, I think, the 5th one. I've never read this one. This is the 8th one. I was trying to find this one. I didn't think it was on this side of the ridge. I thought it was up north. I just don't know where all of them are. It's a nice little story, but, you know, who wants to read the last page of the story when they don't know the characters from the beginning? I was going to show you where the first couple of them were and then follow through with that storyline, but I didn't know where they led. Again, you kind of need... It's kind of hard to go through the story elements in this game when there's no story. You know, you're just kind of wandering around figuring it out for yourself. So either you have to go online and find a guide to tell you what you're doing. You also, like me, I've only been playing this for a few weeks. I don't have the benefit of playing this game for the last 3 years, so I don't know all the different cataclysmic events that have already occurred. So I'm just trying to figure it out as I go, and I'm not, basically there's nobody holding my hand. And I don't, because there's absolutely zero story in this game outside of that opening. And Conan says, well, I'll see you later. Well, I know where Conan's at. I'm going to show you where Conan is. Not that it's a big secret, but this, you know, you're just left to kind of figure it out on your own and do your own thing, and that's fine. I love a good sandbox. But don't throw in all these little story elements that are leads you to stuff when you don't set it up. There's no setup and pathway and, you know, delivery along the way. It's just kind of, ugh. I wish they just, I don't know. I wish they had a few more. If they're going to do a story element, actually have a story you can actually follow along. And there's where you're at. There's the next point of your story. Go there. Well, they don't do that. They just kind of let you figure it out as you go. I love these oases. Oh my god, they're so beautiful. I mean, talk about a place you'd like to build a house. So there's this, right now this is where we're at. There's a series of little, waterways over here. Clean water, beautiful environment. I mean, yeah, there's a few, I think. Yeah, there's some shellbacks over there. And there's probably some gators. Some shellbacks over here. Oh, my feet are... Oh, there's a panther, or a leopard. But overall, this would be a bad place to build a big treehouse. You got these little rocky plateaus you can use to kind of get you above the hoi polloi down below. That's a word you don't hear every day. Big trees over there. This big rocky structure could be used as a base, I think. You got some iron on the base of it. Plenty of water over here, though. Big old cat that I don't want to deal with. Bunch of big old cats. So yeah, you can't build on the little island because you got cats there. I'm sure those are leopards. Jaguars. I don't know. Jaguars usually have a spot within a spot. Okay, up and over. Big bugs up here. I don't like big bugs. Big snakes I don't mind. Big cats, the big mammoths. Big bugs are a little freaky. Ooh. They got stingers, they got claws, they got wings. They got about everything nasty that you could imagine on a freaking big bug. That one's a really big one. Look at that. Oh! I think I saw you in my bathroom once. Stupid springtails. This one's not bad, except you got all the big shellbacks, including a bunch of males. Hey, I'm just here for the waters, dudes. Those are like the reservoirs for the town, I think. Oh, again, some nice little rocky areas. Being able to build your house this close to the town is pretty neat. Okay, so I showed you the toxic pools, and I showed you the nice little oases. Now we're getting up to the town. Maru, the city of relic hunters. The biggest population center in the game, and the only one that looks like a proper city. The only thing is, the buildings really should have been bigger. They're not really to scale. They're a little too tiny for people to dwell in them. I wish they would have just made their buildings just a smidgen bigger. But cool thing about this place is, for the most part, it's not hostile. There are some areas in this town you want to avoid. You get near the Setites, they'll chase you all over the city, but for the most part, these people leave you alone. So you can actually, do some stuff. So the doors are a little bit undersized, but if you look at the buildings themselves, it's like that's not a second floor, so that's obviously a second, of a normal size. It's not too bad here. But when you look at some of the upper levels, you realize if there was a room there, that room would be absolutely tiny. You'll see more what I mean when I get up close. Like, look at this. For one, everybody would bang their head on that door. What is this little tiny ass little room for? I mean, it is absolutely tiny. I just wish they would have scaled everything up a good 20 to 25%. Well, maybe not 25, would be a little big maybe, but if everything was about 20% bigger than it is, it would look like a lot more authentic. It would look more like a real scaled building instead of kind of like mini buildings. Look at my corruption for a second here. You see how the little purple there that's on the end of my health and stamina? Conan. I want to talk. Right now I'm regenerating and I'm losing corruption. Losing the corruption leaves me under health, and that's why I'm regenerating. So just being in Conan's presence is one way you can get rid of corruption that you build up. You need the corruption because it fuels sorceries, spells, but I'm not a sorcerer, so. Dancers. You want to talk to Conan?
So you live, and we meet again. Tell me, have you had a good chance to look around? Seen your fill of these exiled lands?
Didn't bother with lip movement on this.
It's not too late to get back on that crucifix. Any fool can see that you need answers. Left hanging for the vultures on that cross. A cursed bracelet that keeps you trapped in this place. Everybody trying to kill each other. I should leave you all to your fate. I don't have the stomach for sorcery. Give me a foe that I can strike with cold iron. Ah! I'll be here a while. His wine tastes like boiled camel's piss and the bread's half weevil, but I'm comfortable enough. If you have questions, ask.
So going back to this whole story in this game, Conan got us off of the Tree of Woe and said we'd meet again, but we weren't led to him. We were never given a clue of where he is. There's no story elements that sent us this way. You just have to happen across this town in your explorations and then happen to walk into the one that's open for you to just kind of hang out and talk.
I wandered for a while after I pulled you from that cross. In the south, I found desperate souls and Dafari man-eaters. In the east, apes that walked like men among the overgrown ruins of an ancient city. I found an amphitheater where the ancient dead walked, and the memories of ancient battles stained the sand. It stank of sorcery.
I don't think I found that place yet.
So I left. I have traveled far and seen much. From the glittering ice of Asgard to the jungle expanses of the Black Kingdoms. I have been thief, pirate, and mercenary. But nowhere have I seen gods as I see them in this land. These avatars that stalk and spread destruction in their wake.
I haven't seen those yet.
These are not gods. These are what men want gods to be. Weapons. There is a woman. I freed her from the cross just as I did you. I followed her trail across the Exiled Lands. I missed her here by a scant few hours. She had left in search of a map room and a way to free herself from the Exiled Lands.
I haven't done that yet.
Her trail ended in the map room. She was gone and all of her companions slaughtered. Listen. If you have news of Razma of Shem, let me know. What do I know of sorcerers and their feuds? I do not dabble in the dark arts. But whoever and whatever put you here is a wielder of the dark arts. You are like a wolf in a trap. You struggle to flee, and yet, in the end, it will kill you. Be smarter. Find out what they want, then hold it close. They will come for it. And then your jaws around their throat. Just remember this. If you do succeed, if you do manage to find a way to remove your bracelet and leave the Exiled Lands, you will have to make a choice. Stay and be the hero of your own story, or leave and risk losing it all. The choice will be yours. Choose wisely. Any fool can see that you need answers. Left hanging for the vultures on that cross. A cursed bracelet that keeps you trapped in this place.
Okay.
Everybody trying to kill each other.
Innkeeper's Ledger. By the gods, what was I thinking? I locked Zeth the drunk in the wine cellar. That's where all the drinks are. I'm ruined. I haven't been able to find that yet. I know that there's a dungeon, but I have not been able to figure out where it is. I have not gone online to see where it is, but I don't know, I've looked all over this place, inside and outside, trying to find a secret passage or a door or carpet maybe covers up a cellar door. I have no idea. Maybe it's just a completely different location. I don't know. You can also talk to her, the princess. A little bit of her story is out there. There's storylines that basically lead her to this point.
My blood, it is royal, and apparently coveted for sacrifice. My father is a king, and a dog.
I'm pretty sure we came across her initial location on one of those bluffs. One of those little camps that I found. I think I don't remember if I found it on this playthrough or not.
Through his own embarrassing indiscretions, my father became indebted to the Stygian Tothamon. I was traded to settle his accounts and save his craven skin. Oh, these sorcerers. They are all alike. May each and every one of them lose their odious heads. I'm well away from my dog king father. I won't go back. For now, I'll follow Conan. If that path leads me to danger, so may it be. It can be no worse than what I have faced. My blood, it is royal, and apparently coveted for sacrifice. My father is a king, and a dog.
So she's following she's following Conan. I don't know. I have not been able to find where this cellar secret passage is or anything. I've searched all over the premises and I didn't find anything that looked like a cellar door. But anyway, I know that there's some kind of a little dungeon related to the cellar, and beating it gets you something and blah blah blah, but I haven't figured out where the heck it is. Again, I'll probably have to go online because I'm not given any clues in game for where anything is. I spent half my time searching for how do you get through this, or what's this, or how is this tied to that. Looking through the stray cat. Where's he at? Anyway, there's little cats running around. They're stray cats. You can grab them, put them in your inventory, take them to your little pet trainer thing, and tame them, and then you can have them run around your house. That's how you train all the animals in the game. You can do it with any of the animals. It's kind of cool. You do something similar with people. You clonk them on the head or knock them out using non-violent means or non-deadly means, and then you wrap them up, tie them up, take them back to your camp, put them on the Wheel of Pain, and they become thralls. South Lake. I don't want to mess around with South Lake. You get to the other side of South Lake and you get the Setites on your butt. Speak of the devil. Now I got two of them chasing me. I want to get up to the Temple District. Away from these people. Setites. Different temples for different worshippers. This is where we came in. Those are the merchants. Okay. Things are back to normal. Nothing up here. Gong. Must be their alert system. This town just kind of grows out. There's just all sorts of it. Despite the fact that buildings are not quite scaled correctly, but oh, there's a chest I was looking for. Some stuff. Just looking for some stuff. Horns. They got horns and gongs to alert the town when something bad is about to happen. Ironbreaker Ridge. So now there's all sorts of things pinged on the map. So anyway, that's Upper Meru, the city of relic hunters. I haven't found my little spider chapel for my religion. There's like 3 different religions up here, I think. Because out here on the fringe, you'll get some of the more cannibal versions, the guys that like to Zamorian. He's a sorcerer, and they got stuff up here for that. Yeah, that's not gruesome. So they need people to sacrifice, of course. Oh, that's leaving town. Shun the Fang. These are Setite priests. Snake worshipping Setites. I guess this is another group. Same thing, Setite priests. Harlot's Journal, number 1. The old chieftain, wretch that he is, lies dying now, and I can do little, as I have no knowledge of the arcane arts of medicine. My expertise in bedroom acrobatics will be of little use to the old fool. It might even bring him closer to the brink, if not push him over completely. When he dies, I wonder what will become of me. Still, Shemiel, his son, is strong and not very intelligent. If I play my cards right, I might have a safe haven here. I think I shall have to pay him a nighttime visit to ease his weary mind and muscle. The thought of getting caught is enticing in itself, although the prospect of the wheel is less so. I shall have to be careful. So the harlot has some journals across the wasteland too, and apparently this was the first one. So she started here. Most of the people ended up here, and hers is one that started here and ended up out in the wilds. Ugh. I am food and watered out. I'm gonna have to fill this up before I go. Oh, looks like I need to cook some meat too. I should probably do that. I'm not building, I'm just setting up a campfire, you dippy doos. Oh, gotta find some place where I can set this campfire up and not get attacked by scorpions. Killed all those animals, might as well cook up the food. Only one more place I want to travel to before I wrap this up. So we got one more little trek to do, and that's it. And campfire, put it back in inventory. And because I just don't want to carry around a bunch of spoiled food, I'm just going to dump that here. I always forget I can sneak. I usually get there on accident. Okay, so I did find a really neat little location over here on the playthrough I did just before I started recording this one. There is an abandoned silver mine over here somewhere that has silverstone in it that you can smelt into silver. It's got all sorts of treacherous things in it, like scorpions and stuff, but so I'm not going to mess with it now, but I wanted to point it out if I can find it. I swear it was on this side of town. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was in a different direction. Ugh, more scorpions up there. I don't know. Maybe it was down in that direction. I thought it was over here, but through one of these areas there's a little mine, and it's just rich with all sorts of silverstone you can smelt up. And there's probably some kind of a dungeon attachment to it too. Anyway, I had a little base on one of these little outcropping protrusion things within sight. I think it was over there because it was within sight of the city, and it looked out across to the red desert area, and it was between the location and this red desert area that has the little mine, but I think it's in one of those little valleys over there. Anyway, because I haven't been able to find any silverstone out in the wild. So when I found that mine and it was just filled with this stuff, I was like, wow, this is pretty good. I don't know why it was abandoned, because there's tons of it in there. Big dry desert basin there. There's a handful of ways into this place. Everything inside this big wall is ridiculously treacherous. There's undead all over the place. There's scorpions all over the place. There's really weird, creepy, crawly things. It's littered with just danger.
Oh!
Not a place that you want to go wandering around. I think that's the little demonoid thing that was in the Conan the Destroyer movie. They did a pretty good job of tapping the visual appearance and so forth of creatures in not only the graphic novel written stories of the Conan lore, but the movies, which I think whatever kind of a Conan fan you are, if you were just a fan of the movies, you'll find something in this game that you'll like. And if you're a fan of the original material, source material, I think you're going to be blown away by how much stuff is in this. Oh, I'm gaining corruption. Unnamed city. We do not want to be here for a long period of time because of the corruption. We definitely don't want to keep going in. I'm gaining it, but it's not really being added to my stuff yet. And again, I don't know how much of this stuff was changed. I don't know how much of this stuff was added. I know that the original game came out originally when the first Conan Exiles came out. It was pretty much just all that desert and the river area in the south that we started at. And then these other regions were added to it. But I don't know how much of the stuff was here, how much of it's changed, if it's always looked exactly like this. I have no idea. Like I said, I haven't been in this game long enough to know a lot of stuff. I'm just kind of still experiencing it on my own. Undead skeletons there, and then over here you got the glowing ones. This place is just... You can't go anywhere in here without getting something nasty on your butt. Yeah. If I keep going in this general direction, I'll pop out going south. I have taken some of the portals to other worlds from here. There is a boat over in the jungle along the near where those gorillas are. There's a boat that can take you to a little island and a bunch of underwater Lemurian buildings. That was really cool. There are several different like semi-portals where you leave this world and go to another dungeon that's essentially like teleporting to a different world, but it's basically just a mini like level area. But I have no idea how many of those there are. I don't know where they're all located. I've just stumbled across a few of them. It's like a book, and it is. That or it's just a stone. It's just a stone. God, I love the ability to climb in this game. It really means they can get creative with all their terrain and they don't have to worry about getting spots where people... Thus far, I have not gotten trapped in the terrain through my various adventures. Something that is kind of plagues people playing certain other open world games where you get stuck in the terrain and you can't jump your way out of it and you end up having to go to a previous save and losing some 20-30 hours of playing the game because you're just got trapped in the environment. So big green wall, can't go that way. So there's a big I was gonna say city, but it's not really a city, it's a camp. A big encampment down here in this valley, and another one of these corrupt statues you can touch to attune it to your bracelet. And there's a pretty cool little level down there. I'm not going to do it now because I don't think I'll survive. Food, man, I swear. She is burning through the calories, and she needs water. Some nice ruins. Algar's Overlook. I have no idea who Algar is. I have no idea whether this ruin has always been in the game or if it used to be something else. A lack of knowledge. I just assume any kind of encampment is hostile, but I'll approach with cautious optimism. There's occasionally you'll find one where people will greet you, and this one looks abandoned actually. Hey, I learned the Khitan dance. So this is apparently a Khitan camp of some kind, and now I know how to do their dance. So I've learned a lot of things here. So I learned how to sit. You can sleep on your back, shake your fist, dance. I've learned 2 different dances, the Khitan dance and the Aquilonian dance. That's the Aquilonian dance. And if you have thrall followers, you can give them different emotes to do, and they can perform their little. Okay, so we got people down there, and I don't think they're. You see skulls on stakes. You don't want to visit those camps. Those are probably furry cannibals. Yeah, so this valley down there is a big campsite, and it exits into this building with some nasty stuff in there. So this is kind of like the end of the road for our little river valley. All of these Darfuri cannibals. I'm just gonna run through.
Shadow?
These people eat humans. Don't want to hang in their camps for very long. Hi, just visiting. No, I'm not hungry. Yeah, I will feast upon you. No. I'm not on the menu. Hey, hyenas, how you doing? Fight off against one thing. I don't want to fight off against a bunch of things. Okay, got that solved. That's a baby hyena. Oh, look at him. Good place to get baby hyenas, I guess. So we can go down and go to the river. Or I can go across. I want to go across. I want to show you an area. Because in a future video, I will probably share this other location that I found. You know that ridge that I was building up the house and stuff? That's not the first really cool location I found that I thought this would be a great place to build. Don't last very long. So anyway, I've come across other areas that I thought would be really cool to build, and I built on them. So I'm going to head to a site that I have built up in another save that someday I might show a video of if I ever finish building. I don't want to show off because the buildings are really primitive. They look cool for somebody who's never played the game, but anybody that's invested a lot of time in this game has seen better buildings than I've built. And we're right next to where I want to be. They're pocking. Okay. We're there. So, in my wandering around, I found this little spot, and I'm sure other people have built here, but I had kind of it was almost a visionary of what I wanted to do with this. So, I approached this place from the south, and I'm heading there now. I'm heading to where I kind of discovered this. So, down here, along here is that same little river that goes by our place. It just wanders around, and it's shallow, and it's got gators all over the place. I'm not too far away from a nice little watery area that's deep enough to fish. Out here, I can farm the trees and the rocks. There's little gators here. There's a waterfall there that goes down. And the lower area's got all sorts of gators along the coast on it. There's gators on both sides of the river. At the very tip of this little area of land, there's actually a little campfire with some humans that respawn in the exact same space that there's a bunch of gators. So they're basically respawn to get killed by the gators again and again and again and again and again forever. That's all they do is get spawned so they can get killed by gators. Up here, there's this nice little forested, little trees here I can farm. I can farm along the coast. I can farm for rocks all on the hills. Plenty of rocks, plenty of trees. Doesn't have a lot of iron, but I found one of these nearby mountain ranges has a ton of ironstone in it. I couldn't find a lot of coal either. I have to travel a little farther away to get to coal. Again, this little area here, lots of trees, lots of rocks. I came up over here, and there's a story here, some story ghosts. There's also a stone. So remember that story we had earlier where we were at the campsite and the guy died? These are the same two people. This is the third. Yeah, this is the third, I think, of their... Yeah, the third in the journal. It starts on the edge of the desert where they met each other. The second one is at a campsite near the start of this aqueduct area. This is the third one, and then it continues on to the north. We ended up at 8, so again, there's no sense of going through the whole storyline now, but it's a neat little story. Anyway, that goes down to the water line. Up here, there's a little flat area where I can constantly farm for respawning trees and rocks as I'm building. Up there is a lone guy. It's actually not hostile. You can talk to him and get some, I don't know, he wants something for trade. There is a rock monster, one of those little rock animals out here somewhere. Pops in at the most inconvenient times. But outside of that, and the gators that are along the riverway, there was no threats. There's no animals, there's no humans, not too many humans anyway. The lower area doesn't really have any humans, but there are a few human camps across the river, up in the bluffs, and there's a couple of little campsites along the river farther up. But this is what I saw. As I was walking in this path, I'm like, there's this big rocky overhang here, and there's this rock here. And I was exploring this and looking at this, and just kind of, okay, comes up the path, and you see the path continues right up the hill. And then the path here goes over into that little forest area. And I was like, you know what? I could do something with this. So I built a house right around this rock, basically, up and into it. I created a porch here and a stairway that went up into the house itself on the main floor, and stairways that go up several floors, and built all around it. It's kind of like the keep, the central keep of this little area. And I thought, I like this. This ridge here is so high up, it's basically, you can't access it from that river area. Yes, there's some gators down there, and there's a campsite up the river a little bit. Not that big a deal, but it acts for a natural defensive wing. Now, this is what I envision. This is a castle here. I'd put a gate between these rock formations. I'd put another gate over there, because on the top of that hill is a little plateau that has all sorts of hyenas and nasty stuff. So I needed to protect myself from that. So I figured, okay, I'll put a wall up there. I don't need a wall over here because it basically drops into that water, and there's a big rock face there that I don't need a wall on. Then I would build a wall from this rock face across to this rock face in some shape or form. And that's essentially what I did. I have this thing built up. It's got multiple tiers. Down here I built a couple more lower levels, and I built an actual wall with a gate and a wall. The wall continues around here with some buildings and work areas, and I tie it back around, and it builds it back up over here. All of this is built in, just like I did at that other little rock face. This is all like, this is planed off, and there's a building here. There's a resource farm on one of the levels. Later on, after I'd already built most of the rest of the camp area, I saw that rock across the river, and I built a little walkway spinning around it like a spiral to the top, and then decided, well, let's try to build one of those like horizontal elevators. And so I built a horizontal elevator across the river from that point to over here. There's another, you have to imagine another leveled off like foundations, and I worked back and forth until I found the right spot that would connect up fairly well. So now I have a transport across the river, and I kind of built an area up over there as again a way of accessing the other side. I built a second one from the same location going over here to this camp area up here, because I envisioned this all over here to be like the town, or like my different I could have a blacksmith shop, and I could have a stable area and a training area. And so all of this is cleared out. I got rid of all the rocks and all the plants. I put foundations down. I put a little fencing area around the outside so nobody goes and wanders off, but everything is all squared up and connected with foundations all the way across, because this is quite a bit of an area and it's fairly flat. Mined out all that rock. The little walkway here kind of goes gently up, and I put a wall up there. But then I realized once I got up here that there's also this path, that I came down before. Remember where the hyenas chased me to the end of this needed a wall. So then I had to put some kind of a gateway or a doorway up here, basically just to keep the animals from constantly, interfering. So there's a wall with a door, but it's not a true gate. The true gate follows this path because there's a natural path right through this whole area. So I'd have a couple of towers with a gate over here. You come down the hill. There's not a lot of room for buildings on the right side of this road, but I put some of my livestock that I raised in these weeds, so it looks like they're grazing on them. Again, this is all cleared out. I came over here and I basically built a wall, or the startings of a wall, straight across this path. Well, straight across this path here. And off of this side of it, it kind of goes into the courtyard area. But on this side, it's a complete vertical wall that goes up about 7 or 8 foundations high, straight across this whole divide. And I'm starting to build up over there too, because I don't like the idea of an enemy coming up over the top of the wall from the mountainside. So I'm trying to figure out something there. Once I created the initial wall, though, I realized there's some possibilities up here too, because the wall essentially is this high. It's basically this high straight across. But this path continues to go up, and there's another little area up here. So I put foundations up here and flattened it all out, and it makes for kind of an interesting little captain of the watch, or you know, like commander could be up here, or even the castle. I could put the you know, the lord of the castle could be up here, but then I could put barracks down here on the inside. This is actually tiered, so there's like a tier here, then there's another tier, and then there's another tier all above the ground level. And a couple of those tiers I have barracks, so like the idea of barracks, of having like this is where the soldiers live. The gateways are perfect in and out. It took a lot of fudging around and figuring out what height to be and where they should be. Again, I want to show this place off because I like... It's still in the early stages. Yes, I have some walls, and yes, I have some buildings built, but it's still using mostly sandstone. It doesn't look particularly fantastic, but it's got a lot of possibilities. And I think defensively, as a, you know, just as a human thinking about defensive strategies, access to water, access to plenty of resources, it's on a major road, it's got gates on the main entrance. There's a gate up there, there's a gate in the middle of the wall over here, and there's a gate down there. There's 2 different elevators that go across the stream. It's pretty cool. It was a pretty neat little thing that I built up, and I'm kind of proud of it, because I just kind of found the spot. It wasn't like I was looking for a spot to build. I just thought, oh, this is kind of cool, and I just let my imagination kind of run away. And I love the idea of building along this little waterfall river too, because this stream goes up and around and back and around, and the stream where we're built on is a part of this system. This doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. I guess the water is draining out of these lakes, I guess, and pours down and then splits. Part of it goes off in this direction and goes around, and then the other part of it goes over here. But this is all basically one set of tributaries. It's almost reverse of tributaries. They're both exit points for the same river that comes from up there. But yeah, it just spins all the way around. All sorts of gators, though. Territorial gators. But again, you can farm them. They'll just respawn. Then you get to this this is the lowest tier here. This is basically the sea level layer. Lots of rocks, lots of trees, lots of plants that you can harvest for berries. Both sides of the river. But as you move up, there's some gators. Every once in a while, a greater gator will get spawned, but for the most part, these are easy to deal with. The real trick is the end of this little inlet here, this little, it's not quite a peninsula, but whatever. If a greater gator spawns, I'm not going to mess with them, but usually there's like, almost like, I think I'm thinking 4 gators and a couple of people. It looks like the people are already dead. Okay, got my bones. Fix that up, and while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to heal again. There's still a few more gators up here. I'm not going to mess with them, though. I'm going to quick... Oh, there's 3 more up here. there's always a chest. And the bodies of the gator. Bodies of the people. Alright, that's it. So I take it back. There's 5 gators. There's some shellbacks over there, and sometimes they're fighting with them, but if you hurry up and come into this area really quickly, you'll see the people, and they get spawned, and immediately there's 5 gators surrounding them, and they just get torn apart. In that same playthrough, when I had the big building up there, I found I needed a place to fish. You can't fish in that shallow little water. It's got to be deep enough that you can actually swim in it. And I put all sorts of little fishing rigs here, and it's a good source of fish. Anyway, that's all I wanted to go through today. We went through all the different spots I wanted to show you. I mean, we started here. We went to the savannah area. We went up into the greener northern area, and then we went over to the colder northern area, and right into some of the cold, snowy area. We popped out down here in the toxic Shattered Springs. We visited the Oasis of Niket, and we visited the city where Conan is in Sepper Maru, and we came back through the unnamed city. So since we started, you've really seen all the different biomes that are in this game. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on the north side of the river, but most of this was the similar terrain, similar type of environment. There's a little more transitional stuff here I didn't spend any time in either, but we spent a lot of time in this transitional area, so I wasn't going to bother up there. You've seen some of the little sites that have located, but look at all the area we haven't even visited. We haven't visited any of this. We didn't ping anything in the unnamed city except the unnamed city itself. I didn't visit this area at all. We kind of bypassed it. So there's all sorts of little like sub areas that you can visit. We haven't even visited all the stuff south of the river. So I don't know what else I'm going to do with this game. I do kind of want to invest some time in building my little base up. I don't know how much of that I'll do on camera. I don't know if anybody's interested in seeing me play through any of this or not. I mean, it's the people who want to play it are just going to play it. And my friends that might be interested in the game and have no intention of playing it might want to watch, but I don't know. I don't want to presume. I'm just going to go ahead and save this. Oh, before I do that, you know what else I wanted to do was level up. We haven't done any leveling up, because we leveled up several times in wandering around. What do I want to invest some points in? So, water well. Water well's kind of neat. It's a self-replenishing pool of water that you can use to drink out of or to fill up your canteens, so you don't always have to go down to the river. So it's functional, and it looks kind of neat. Saddles. Well, I don't even have any horses, so I don't really need saddles. So the treasure coffer is interesting. You're going to want one of those at some point. That's where you put all your gold, your silver, and these special treasure items that you can find out in the world. The Web of Zath. Well, that's my religious structure. I kind of want to spend some points. I have 69 points to invest. We're now on level 26. So I definitely want to get that. Cutlass, favored by pirates. Siege stuff, I'm not ready for that. That costs 3 points for the coffer. Fine, I'll get that. I haven't done anything with bows and arrows. I do want the large chest. The cupboard is, again, also nice, but the large chest carries a ton more stuff than the regular wooden chest does. Let's see. Planters. The hatches are kind of interesting for building. Being able to utilize ladders and hatches might be good if I'm going to build my base. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. The dryer, that's the thing that you can dry meat. I'm going to do that. There's the elevator I mentioned, the 2 different kinds of elevators. That could be useful in our home base, so I'm going to click that. Journeyman Mason, so this allows us to build stone brick. That's the next thing up from sandstone, which is what we currently have, so I might as well click that. That was expensive. Oof. That took a lot of other things away. There's the fishing equipment. The ability to build a Stygian Kopish. Alchemist bench, if we wanted to do alchemy, that would be important. Artisan's table. You can build so many furniture items with that. Decorative beams. Interesting. I don't really want the spear. No. I'm not doing thralls right now, so I'm probably going to skip that. I do want to do the different kinds of roofs, so I'm going to click that. I do want the different kinds of torches. That's a 1 point. The improved campfire is 2 points. Why not? I'm not going to do shields. I'm not going to do that stuff. Okay, so what else do we have here that's left that I want to do? Well, I might as well do the well. Well, costs 3 more points. I'm still got 40 to spend. But I'm not going to build. I'm not going to click things just to click them. I'm not going to just, oh, I want to do this and this and this and this. The grinder is useful. It's a good way of recycling junk you've acquired, so I definitely kind of want to do that. I want to do the palisades too. Yeah, I guess I might as well do the artisan table. It only costs 1. I'm not into the axe game. If I had the next level up of like twin-bladed weapons or swords, maybe I'd do it, but I'm not really interested in the ones that are up here. Fishing. Do I want to do the fishing thing? Fine, I'll do that since it's here. I have not gotten a whole lot out of alchemy. I'm not going to start that until I absolutely have to. I guess I'll save up my points. That way, when I can afford the next tier of stuff, I can get it. Let's see, these are all in DLCs. Kindling fire, I gotta be on level, I'm on level 10. Oh, I must have some prerequisite I don't have. I did the torches, didn't I? Yeah, I did torches. I don't know. Won't let me do it. Oh, there's some more down here. Oh, good, good, good. I was looking for some more things. See, most of these things with a little green triangle in the corner, require different DLCs, and I don't have any of those downloaded, so until I do, they're just on the wait list. Okay, so I can do, with this, Apprentice Taxidermist, I can do a hyena head, shellback head, or a shellback hatchling decoration. Aw, that's gruesome. Different kinds of braziers. That's cool. Kind of fancy. Candles. Different kinds of tables. That costs a point. I'll go ahead and take that. I got a lot of points. Again, I'm not interested in the shields. Papyrus. Animal pens. Okay, now do I want to start training animals? Ugh. It takes up a lot of space. Feeding them and stuff. I'm going to pass on that for now. Display racks for shields, single and triple weapons. Interesting. It's kind of just design though. This is the next level of taxidermy, which is a bunch more heads you can put on your wall. Okay, got some pottery stuff. Those big horns. I definitely want to do the rug stitcher because I'm kind of interested in having some rugs and carpets. What else do we got? Banners, tapestries, nice for wall coverings. Yeah, I'll go ahead and click on that. It's only a point. Okay, dice, which I don't see the purpose of other than the whole role-playing game element. I have no idea what those are used for. Bonfires is the next up from the big cooking fire. That costs 2 points. Take it. Some chairs. Go ahead and take that. Benches. Decorative planters. More banners. Wooden roofs. Let's see, what else? Journeyman Stairmaker. Take that. Tents. Well, given where we're at, I think we're going to need some shade tents, unless I want to put roofs on top of everything. That only cost a point. What do we got here? Stonebrook fence. That's the foundations for the next level up, so we'll go ahead and get those. And the roofs. So now we're pretty good. We can do the second tier, basically all the second tier construction stuff for foundations, walls, and roofs, and stairs. Any more brown that I can actually do? I don't think so. Everything looks red, and things that are in brown all have green triangles. So no new armors, no new weapons. Lots of things that are locked. But you can see all the different varieties of stuff there are in this game. So what's the plan? Do you want to build an entire base using the most primitive materials, then go back and it's actually pretty easy. If you decide, okay, I want to change my sandstone into wood, you can just choose the wooden walls and replace all of your sandstone walls with them. Do the same thing with foundations. It's just an instant snap. It's not like you have to deconstruct and rebuild. They make it really easy. But do you really want to do that? Do you want to go through and constantly give your entire facility or entire base a complete facelift from the ground up? Or do you just want to build it with the right materials from the start? I don't know. I guess there's different thoughts of what you could do. Let's see, I chose the chairs. Did I choose the tables? Because I don't see it. So oh, there they are. Yeah, I did choose the tables. That's green. I wanted to make sure I did both the tables and the. If I'm doing chairs, I'm doing tables, I'm doing rugs. That's furniture. Anything else? Here's the savage armors, the Darfuri. If I was a Darfuri character, I might do that. I don't really need it. I don't need to look like a different culture than I am. Be an imposter. These are kind of interesting. You can make your coins with raw materials. You can make anklets and stuff. I'm going to do that for the clothing option more than the other stuff. Do I want to build axes? I got 16 left. Or should I just save it until I want? See, I just don't understand the purpose of why would I invest in bows and arrows if I'm not going to use them. Why would I invest in weapons that I'm not going to use? Kind of want to stay focused on the stuff I'm actually using and continue to use and want to use, rather than, oh, this is new, let's just get it. Yeah, I don't need the Tinker's Bench, at least not right now. Okay, that's it for that. Now, I have 3 unspent points here. 1, 2. Now we harvest nodes twice as fast, so it won't take as many whacks or chops to complete. And I'm going to go ahead and spend the last point. We're 4 points away from not having to have to deal with the stupid encumbrance levels anymore. And with that, I am going to quit out of this. If I ever get around to posting these to YouTube, I hope you're enjoying these videos. Give me a thumbs up. Give me some comments. Let me know what you're thinking. I have no idea if I'm posting these this week or if I'm going to post these in a month or if I'm ever going to post them at all. But this is where I'm at. If I did post them and you are watching this, I hope you're enjoying it. Thank you.